All right, you join me inside the cabin of the 2021 BMW M8 Gran Coupe competition, which is BMW speak for the spicier version of the M8 four-door, which itself is the spicier version of the 850i Gran Coupe. No real changes for the 2021 model year because this car was just introduced for 2020, but don't let that get you down. There's a lot to get excited about here, including gobs of power, insane acceleration, a sleek form, high-end interior, and cool technologies. Is this the best way to spend your six figures on a high-performance coupe sedan thing? I don't know. We got to find out. That's today on Miles Per Hour. And there it is. The 2021 BMW M8 Gran Coupe competition. This one is painted in Brands Hatch Gray Metallic. I like this color for a couple reasons. One, it's free. Yes, it's a no-cost color option in a sea of $1,000 options for these luxury cars. This one is free. I also like that it looks like one of the flat grays that is becoming popular in cars until you get up close and see that metallic flake. So yes, it's a 2-for-1 special and it's free. That's a win. Now before I get too deep into the exterior walk around, a couple quick things for you guys. If you are watching this video right now and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out quite a bit, and it's good for you because now you're going to get access to daily uploads of POV day drives, POV night drives, walkarounds, live Q&As, and reviews like this one. You don't want to miss out, so hit subscribe and then tap that bell to get notified. Also, if you've been following the channel for a while, you like what you're seeing, and you want to help out, you are a hero among men. And the way you can do that is by either purchasing some Miles Per Hour merchandise like the t-shirt I'm wearing, or by becoming a patron on my Patreon account. A few different tiers with different perks at each tier. All of them just supporting the channel. Okay, so that's out of the way. Let's get back into the M8 Gran Coupe competition. And I just got really sad. And I'll tell you why. Because I've been looking at pictures of the new M3 and M4 with their big old bucktooth, beaver tooth grills, and I'm looking at this M8 going, that's a handsome grill. I like that face. It's a nice face. Yes, the kidney grill has gotten very wide over the years, but wide is okay. Tall, beaver tooth, overtaking the whole face of the car, not okay. Not looking forward to that, and I'm really hoping that doesn't saturate the rest of the BMW brand. That's just my hope. So yeah, I got a little sad. But back to the M8. I like this face. It's a good looking face. They didn't overdo it. And if you get the M8 competition package, then you're gonna get black exterior accents for the grille and for some exterior accents. However, this one also has the carbon exterior package for $5,000-ish. And that means you're gonna get these sills in carbon fiber, these blades rather, and then that sill, and I'll point them out as we go around. But back to the car's front end. So yes, the wide grille with the M badge and front intakes. You get a front air dam and then intakes off to each side with those carbon fiber pieces. Looking rather handsome. Moving along to the headlights. So as standard on the M8, you get BMW's laser light technology, and it's sort of akin, it's sort of akin to Audi's HD matrix light technology, meaning they use a series of mirrors that reflect and refine the light pattern to project twice as long as your average LED headlight. That means these project about half a mile down the roadway. It's a more recent approval process here in the US, and the amount of technology in them is pretty amazing, and they will have added features over time as we approve them in our government. But for now, you got your really far shooting LED headlights, and they look really cool with the blue accents. You see the blue accents? You're gonna know laser light technology. As we move to the side, we'll see that the competition comes with these 20-inch M-Star wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, size 275 front, 285 rear. And I really like the wheels quite a bit. So you got this black gloss on the inside pieces and then this brushed metal finish on the outsides. They are a pain in the patootie to clean, let me tell you. But they look good when they are clean. You're also gonna see on this particular car, those gold brake calipers. And that tells you that this one has the carbon ceramic brakes. Not just that, but if you look in here at the actual rotors, they look like cracked and veiny. That's just how they look. So if you want to spend the extra $8,100, you're going to save 42 pounds of unsprung weight. That's significant. You're also going to have 2 to 3 times the brake life for the rotors and for the calipers compared to steel rotors and steel calipers. So that's a win all around. But yeah, $8,100. It ain't cheap, but gold. Gold looks cool. This is also part of that carbon package. This side sill here, that's gonna be a carbon fiber piece. M8, really subtle there with the BMW colors. Carbon fiber mirror caps, part of the carbon fiber package. Going up here, we see a beautiful carbon fiber roof. Now, what you're gonna know here is you're not gonna get any panoramic sunroof options because this is all carbon fiber. It looks great and saves 11 pounds compared to the aluminum roof, which is going to lower the vehicle's center of gravity and improve the handling. But again, just looks cool. Moving to the back, let's go to the profile for a sec because I love the profile of this car. And if we go down low, we are going to see the rear drive proportions of the car, the long hood, the gently sloping roofline, the greenhouse pushed so far back, the dash to axle ratio being wide, being what it is. They wanted to emphasize the rear drive dynamics of the car, despite the fact that yes, it is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but it also has a rear drive mode, and BMW dynamics are rear drive biased. So the silhouette emphasizes that. They did a great job here. I think the profile of this is the best among four-door coupe cars. That includes the Panamera, that includes the AMG GT four-door. And now getting to the back, we're gonna see a set of LED taillights, thin, like the headlights, looking very good. I like that light signature. The wide haunches, again, emphasizing that rear powerful stance. They did a great job with this trunk lip spoiler. It's just the right size and shape to me. They didn't overdo it. It doesn't need to go taillight to taillight. It doesn't need to stick up super high. It's an emphasizer, emphasizing the performance, the power of the car. We've got M8 competition badging. Down here, we have more carbon fiber accents for the diffuser. And if you go M8 competition, you're gonna get these blacked out quad exhaust ports. And yes, they are real exhausts. Thanks for asking. The handsome rear end matches the handsome front end, matches the handsome profile. This is how you do car design, folks. BMW got it right with this car. What's gonna happen with the M3, M4? I don't know. But for now, this is my favorite looking four-door coupe on the market. Got a lot right here. Let's see if they got the same number of things right on the interior. And on our way in, we'll note we've got smart key access, so you just leave the key in your pocket, put your fingers against those 3 bumps, and that's gonna unlock the car or lock it. Opening up and looking inside, we'll see on the M8, we get a bunch of standard features. The competition package for $13,000 adds a few more. And you can't just get the competition package, by the way. You have to also get the driver assistance package for $1,100. So if you want that comp package, be prepared to spend not $13,000, but $14,100. to get both of those packages. But go comp and you get these more aggressive full merino leather sport seats with adjustable side bolsters. You can raise the headrests independently. They are fully perforated on the seat backs with this nice contrast stitch work. The texture of the leather is so supple. Black inserts, more contrast stitch. Down here, more black inserts on the seat bottoms. You've got adjustable thigh support here. And then here are your adjustments for the side bolsters. You press that in and squeeze in they go, or squeeze out. If you want to raise or lower your headrest, press this one right here. Bunch of adjustability. You will find a comfortable driving position. I pretty much guarantee it. They are heated and ventilated chairs as well. I also forgot to mention that this plate back here will glow at night, which is fun, along with the full array of ambient lighting and these tread plates here. That's the luxury experience, folks. On the doors, all high quality materials. So that same quilted design work as the seat backs are here. Looks really good. The leather feel, like the seats, is so high end. Contrast stitching right here along the armrest, up into the grab handle. Aluminum plated toggles for your windows, all auto one touch up down. You've got a power rear sunshade that raises or lowers with one press of the button. Folding door mirrors. Hello. Goodbye. Aluminum work all along these pieces right here. You can see some of that ambient lighting that's going to glow right on top of that. This Bowers & Wilkins sound system, I think it's a 16 speaker sound system, 1400 watts. That's an option, $3,400 I believe for that. It's a very good sound system. This is coming from a non-audiophile, but a person who thinks he knows what sounds good and what doesn't. Aluminum handle, aluminum position, or aluminum plates here, 2-position memory seats, all very high quality materials. Even leather down here below the armrest. Sometimes this goes to injection molding or plastic. This is all leather with that contrast stitch all along there. Getting into your trunk release, you press and hold that. It's gonna raise up your trunk. You can go look inside. You can see that it's fairly deep, but not crazy wide. So you're gonna get 11 cubic feet of space back here, which is not the best relative to the Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door and the Porsche Panamera Turbo. So, you know, if you fold those seats down, you'll be able to get long, but kind of skinny items in there because you got that low hanging piece right there. And to release those seats, pull on these handles, and it won't push the seats forward, kind of frustratingly. So you gotta lean in, then push, and then push. And then they fold, but kind of at an angle, not completely flat. So cargo, not going to be the highlights of the M8 Gran Coupe. You will be able to get a couple golf bags and a few medium and small suitcases in there. So have no fear for your airport trips, but anything more significant, grab that SUV. Okay, back to the front. Before we hop in, we can look at this dashboard. That's all leather up there with more contrast stitching. Feels superb. Aluminum plates surrounding your air vents here. Those are your light controls right in there. This is all leather down here as well. It doesn't stop, it just keeps going with the leather. And then we can see these aluminum plated dead pedal and then brake and accelerator. Hopping inside. Let's hear the sound of that door close. Nice and solid. And let's fire this guy up because it's hot in here. Start stop switch is there. More of the ambient lighting. We actually get 2 blades here that we'll see if I show you some night drive footage. Looking at the steering wheel here, we've got that same high quality leather that is elsewhere in the cabin here, along with tricolor stitch on the inside there. And I like the thickness of the wheel. It's just right. It's got good notches for your hands at 9 and 3. Excellent size, good steering wheel, very good steering wheel BMW. This centerpiece is all leather here with that nice stitching on the outside. Of course, your BMW crest right in the center. Over here, you're gonna see your active safety feature controls. So I mentioned that this car has the mandatory driving assistance package for $1,100. I didn't tell you what's in the package. So you get blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alerts, you get auto emergency braking, you get parking sensors, you get a backup assist system, and you get a 3D camera with a sensor in it, so that if you leave your car and you get hit, the camera system will have turned on and will show you what happened and who you need to sue. Just kidding, but yeah, it has that system. So that's cool. And that's all for your standard driving assistance package. This one also has the driving assistance professional package. Am I a professional now because I have those driving assistance features? I don't know. The name doesn't make any sense to me. I'm thinking it's a translation issue between German and English. Anyway, but that package includes full speed adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist with steering intervention, and traffic jam assist. So traffic jam assist basically lets the car drive itself up to speeds of 40 miles an hour. It's meant for bumper to bumper commuting, such that you're not going to have driver fatigue. You can leave your hands off the steering wheel as long as your eyes are facing forward, because if they are not, then that sensor right there is going to pick up on it and it will make you intervene in the steering process. Of course, on the steering wheel, we have our classic M buttons. We've got M1 and M2 over here. You can program them in the infotainment. I'll show you in a second, but I've got these set up such that M1, I just press it once, press it again to confirm, and now it's all the presets for launching the car. That's how I'm gonna get that 3 seconds 0 to 60 time. M2 over here, press that once, press it twice to confirm, and now that's set up the car for rear drive mode, so hooliganism and fun. On the steering wheel, this control right here is going to give you adjustment for your head-up display. That is a standard feature. So zooming in here, you're going to see your posted speed limit of the area, the speed you're going. Press this, and now I can change the input for my media. It will also show you what active safety feature you are using. Very useful at night, during the day. I just don't find myself using it. It's a good size and it's a good layout, very, very legible, but no real use every day. Some of your media controls, volume, and seek settings. These paddles are interesting. One, they're not huge, and two, they've got an aluminum face, but the backing is plastic. So they look good, but they don't feel good necessarily. Interesting choice. Turn signals, let's look at those and hear those. And then your digital instrument cluster is not as sophisticated as some of the ones we're seeing on like Audi with their virtual cockpit and Mercedes-Benz with the MBUX system. Not as adjustable, it's more static. You're basically looking at this if you're in the M mode road setting. You've got your speed on the left, tack on the right, and then fuel gauge left. You can see we need more gas. This car is awful on gas. It's 15 city, 21 highway, 17 combined. I think I've been getting like 11, and that is not driving just with the left foot, by the way. Then your oil temperature off to the right. So this is just what you're looking at. You can have a map here like we do right now, or you can have a blank screen. Those are kind of the only adjustments you can have. Now, if you do go into M mode Sport, that's going to change your configuration here. So now it's a tack on the left and right hand side, and then that you can change in the infotainment to show you. Here I have boost pressure and oil temperature displayed there, but you can have those display other things. But that's kind of all the adjustability you have. Same thing with M mode track. It's going to be the same orientation, but with a different screen on the left-hand side that you can choose. Look more at the dashboard with all that leather, all that contrast stitch. Bowers & Wilkins speaker cover there. More leather over here on the passenger side, leading down into here where, you guessed it, there's more leather, along with an aluminum plate covering your glove box. You can see we don't have a huge glove box here. It will accommodate some papers. Now, looking at the infotainment here, this is operating BMW's latest iDrive system, and it's a very good one. This and MBUX are really close in terms of usability and feature set. MBUX is a little more flashy, looks cooler, let's just put it that way. but iDrive functionality, user-friendliness is right there. And we do also have wireless Apple CarPlay. So the phone I'm recording on right now is also the one that I'm using for Apple CarPlay. That's pretty neat. And it takes over the whole display, as you can see. Some of these only take over part of the display. This one takes over the whole one. It's kind of nice. Then you just hit the BMW app to take you out of Apple CarPlay. Navigation is going to be standard on this car, and it's very useful, very responsive. Happy with that screen. Inside the car settings, we've got some experience modes, which will do a few things when you press the different modes, and those are all displayed right here. It's going to change your ambient lighting with executive, your temperature control, and seat ventilation. Go into expressive, it's got some different settings it'll do, just ambient lighting. Well-being, same deal. So those are kind of fun. Back into the car, we've got your M menu, and in here is where you're going to configure M1 and M2. So all those settings I mentioned can be changed in here. Head-up display can change a little bit, mostly just the height and settings. Then back to the instrument panel. Here's where you can kind of adjust with, if I was in M Mode Sport or Track, what displays are on the left-hand side. And let's go into driving information, trip data. Let's see how bad my fuel economy has been. 12.8. Hey, it wasn't 11, but 12.8 is not great. Shouldn't have to tell you that. Sport displays. Here's some fun ones. You can see your boost from your twin-turbo V8 engine, oil temperature, pound-feet of torque, and horsepower actively being generated, along with a G meter right in the center. Energy flow. No one's going to look at that. That's useless. And then you've got some apps in here. Not only is there wireless Apple CarPlay, there's also wireless Android Auto. You can install some apps that may make it easier for you or not. SiriusXM radio is standard, and no, you don't have to pay for it, which is great. Also, apps like Spotify are on here. All good stuff. Infotainment, very happy with it. You can use it as a touchscreen like I just did. You can use voice commands. You can use this toggle right here to scroll through some things, or to reposition this home menu. You can do that as well. And then you also have gesture control. Thank you, gesture control. So I can turn up and down the volume from here. Well, as I've just discovered, if you have your phone paired up wirelessly to CarPlay and you're recording and you adjust the volume on here, you might just stop recording for some reason. Anyway, gesture control, I find that I use sometimes to adjust the volume, and it becomes a habit, which is kind of nice, instead of cranking this knob. You can also use it for certain features like the 3D camera system. So a bunch of different activation points that you can set up on this car, such that if the GPS knows you're in a location, it will activate the 3D camera system. Or you can just look at different angles on the car by going into 3D view, and it's going to give you a digital projection of the car. You can just hop around to different points on the car if you want to. Or you can use some gestures to slide the camera around the car. Sure, gimmicky, but hey, I think the 3D picture is really cool at least. You also have a backup assist in this car. So you tab that, and the car will assist you in backing up out of your space. Hoping the car will be safe near that curb. Yeah, works pretty well. Then you're ready to just drive away. But I'm gonna drive back into my space because it's in the shade and I got more interior stuff to do. So that's your 3D camera system. And looking more at this dashboard here, we see this seating. This is both the heating and ventilation. So it's kind of like an auto mode where you tab it and it decides whether you need to cool down your seat or heat your seat. But if you want to override it, you can just manually select of the 3 stages of heating or cooling. And then we've got additional climate control settings here, along with this digital readout, so you can crank up or down the fan speed manually. You've got auto modes. This is your temperature control. I've just completely turned it off. You can press this to get to all of your active safety features. You can individualize those such that some of them will work, some of them won't work, or you can just have all on or all off. Moving on down, we have our presets for radio. Knurled finish on the volume knob. That's a nice touch. Carbon fiber inlays here for the center stack. That is standard, along with the M8 competition badge if you get the competition package. In here, we've got your cup holders and your key. We've got one standard USB port, a wireless smartphone charging dock, standard with the M8. Here is your key, nice hefty key with aluminum plates for the unlock. Lock is your BMW button. Trunk release, on the side you've got that tricolor, on the back some plastics amidst that aluminum. Aluminum around the center consoles, a DC socket there. Hide that away if you want. Your M indented and embossed on this gear selector here in leather. Tricolor going around that. Aluminum on the sides, very nice. Piano black surfaces in here. I don't like piano black as a general rule. It scratches and smudges. They don't have too much of it here. I like that. Aluminum trim going along with that ambient lighting. This two-color leather and the leather does go down here, so if your knee is resting against that, it's not going to feel hard. It won't be painful. Red start-stop button. Here is your adjustment for your, if you go into manual mode, which you can do so by sliding over, then you've got 3 different adjustments for sequential. And if you're just in standard drive mode, you've got 3 different adjustments for your transmission aggression. How aggressive will the shifts be? Some shortcut buttons here that actually with the sun on them, you can't see them at all. So just a heads up. You can scribble letters on this if you're inputting for your infotainment system navigation. Aluminum trim here. Contrast stitching and leather for the centerpiece here. Open it up. And we've got one USB-C port right there. And this is a pretty good sized cubby as luxury sedans go. Leather continues on down, covering the glove box. And this is in that same Silverstone color as the seats. We've got an aluminum cover for the latch. Open up, see, it's an average to small size glove box, especially with your leather covered manual in there. Not too big. Moving on up, frameless rear view mirror. Nice and wide angle there, so even though it isn't digital, you should be able to see fairly easily. Although your visibility, well, you know, it's not bad. You've got that C-pillar blind spot, and you've got a kind of narrow back window. But with that blind spot monitoring that comes with the driver assistance package, shouldn't have many problems there. Looking up here, we've got LED dome lights. And then the headliner is covered in this Alcantara. Very nice, very, very nice. The Alcantara continues down the A-pillar and meets the leather of the dashboard. You've got your sun visors here with a tiny little vanity mirror and a strap to hold cards or paperwork. Slide that back and let's see here. Does it slide? Nope. Nope. It is a very long sun visor, I will say that. So you're only getting that mount that isn't covered, but just slide a couple inches. Come on. Come on. And now it's time to question the interior storage capacity of the M8 Gran Coupe competition. And that means we need our big bottle for our big bottle test. Let's see, the cup holders in the front. Do we get a match? No, it's just gonna sit there and then fall right over. Door pockets? Nope. That's gonna be a no. Center console. Let's see, will it fit? Oh yes, we do have a winner. The M8 Gran Coupe competition passes the big bottle test. That's good. Let's go look at that rear passenger space. See what we're working with back here. All right, so I already mentioned we wouldn't get a sunroof or a panoramic sunroof. So it's gonna be a bit dark if you don't choose a lighter color leather like this one. Fortunately, we do have a lighter color leather, so it's not that lighter color leather. Why is that so hard to say? So it's not that bad. You have that same nice stitch work and detailing as those front seats. I like the shape of these seats, the integration of the headrests. That looks very cool, very sporty, very sporty. You have this center console here with cup holders and a itty bitty storage space. But this is all aluminum. That's very nice. High quality materials throughout this cabin. You also have the tricolor of the seat belts as well, just like the front. Rear doors. There is an optional sun visor for these back windows. This car does not have that option, but you do have that sun visor on the rear window. Same high quality materials, leather, aluminum, leather, 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 all throughout, just like the front. Bowers & Wilkins speaker covers are nice and big. More aluminum. One-touch windows. Let's hop inside. See how much space we've got. So that's my driving position. At 6 feet tall, I can really stretch out. You can see some reasonable sized foot pockets. I can't squeeze my feet under there quite as far as I would like, but I can have a decreased knee angle. That is all good. Now this is a strange one. So this center console thing looks cool, and indeed you've got 2 USB-C ports, you've got air vents, you've got some of that carbon fiber up there. It looks really cool. You've got adjustments. So quad zone climate control here is standard in the M8. That's all good, along with that ambient lighting, but all good, all good. This is a 5-passenger vehicle. You can see 2 seatbelts, 3 seatbelts. So there's conceivably going to be a third person sitting here. They then would have to straddle that. And it gets worse, because if you have even 4 people in here and this person on the left needs to slide over to allow someone to get in from this side, that means they're doing this really awkward dance of getting their legs over so that they can slide over. That's just, that's not very well thought out. Not in terms of rear passengers. I don't like that. Just gonna put that out there. Okay, but the space is very good. Sorry, should have had that not there. Space is very good. Head space is, it's acceptable. My head is nestled right up against the roof, but it's not like pushing up against it. And I am 6 feet tall, so that's pretty good. That is pretty good. I like the rear space. It's a good setup back here. And with that done, I think it's finally time to rev this bad boy up and take him for a spin. All right, guys, not gonna mess around here. Going straight into launch control mode. The way you do that is you tab over the gear selector into sequential or manual mode. You tab up to stage 3, your most aggressive shift pattern. From there, you tab the traction control button once, putting you in M dynamic mode. Then you just put your foot on the brake, grab that throttle, let go of the brake, and you're off. Oh my gosh. I've done that a few times now, and it remains one of the most insane sensations. This car is stupid fast off the line. Actually crazy. Now, if you don't want to go through that whole process, you can just program one of your M buttons to do all those things at once. I've done that, so I should just be able to hit M1 once, twice, confirm it, and then just go. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat is nuts for a 4,500 pound vehicle. That's what you get with 617 horsepower and all-wheel drive. That's what we have here in the M8 Gran Coupe competition from that 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 motor. Yes, 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. If you don't go competition package, you're just gonna have 600 horsepower. Still mental performance. And it's smooth too. That power is not just vicious, it's not unrefined. It is a German powertrain. It is smooth. And the way this car goes around a corner is also very impressive. Oh man, and that's with the M dynamic mode. It's gonna let you step out just a little bit, have some fun, not go too crazy. But of course you can completely switch to the rear drive mode of this car. You just go into the system and there's a 4-wheel drive performance mode that's gonna let you step out, and then you can go in completely to rear drive mode. And that's the beauty of these all-wheel drive systems in these cars that also have the ability to switch that completely to rear drive mode. You can still have fun, you can still have that hooliganism if that's what you want, and kind of that's what I want in this car when I want it. This is just a sensational way to go quickly, because it's also a German luxury vehicle. So it's smooth. Everything about it is smooth. I already mentioned the power delivery, but it's not just that. It's the way the car travels down the road. The only thing that I have to nitpick here is those M adaptive dampers, because they're very good at, you know, making sure the car stays flat in corners, but they don't necessarily soak up road blemishes and undulations. So it stays kind of firm, a little too firm for a luxury sedan, what it should be. In performance aspects, no complaints. It just rips around corners. That electronic locking rear differential really helps in that regard. But in terms of your daily comforts, you're gonna be commuting in this car quite a bit, most likely. It's kind of a do-it-all car, that's how it's positioned. So you're most likely gonna be doing those kind of things, and you're gonna want it to be comfortable. I don't necessarily think this is as comfortable as it should be. It feels like it's almost on the spectrum, too heavily weighted towards sports car, which leads to performance like I've just experienced, but it also kind of retracts from the comforts that you're going to expect out of a luxury vehicle. And that's with the suspension in its most comfortable settings. I would never put this car into its Sport or Sport Plus chassis settings, because it just becomes rigid, very, very rigid. Not harsh impacts, but firm impacts. You know what's going on with the road surface. That's my only complaint from a luxury standpoint. The other stuff in here, I've already detailed how sumptuous this interior is. It's not quite as extravagant as a Mercedes-Benz, but all the details are so nicely put together. The leather feel, the comforts, the seating position, the technologies, they're all top notch. It feels every bit worth the price, and I will get into that in a second. But back to the performance for a second, because I think that BMW has gotten a lot of flack lately for how they've messed with their M Performance brand. They've got the M Sport division, which, I mean, they still have the M folks, you know, lending an ear to how they want to develop that performance, but it's an M Light. You have all the various cars the BMW is developing that kind of raise the brow as to whether they are still the tried and true driver's car performance brand. This car sells me on the fact that BMW, and specifically the BMW M division, hasn't gone anywhere. They're still here to make true driver's cars. The way this vehicle goes around a corner, as flat as it does, as competently as it does, and with the steering feel that I get out of this electronic steering rack, which is pretty impressive given that, yeah, it's electronic rack, and it's also not Porsche. Porsche does the electronic steering the best out of anyone, but BMW is a close second. They now have dialed into the feel. It's not just weight that they're giving you, they are giving you steering feedback as well. So that's all good. These carbon ceramic brakes in this car are phenomenal. They are expensive, you know, $8,100 is nothing to just bat an eye at, but they're also really good. Very sharp initial bite, strong pedal feel, but not touchy. That's the thing. If you go too crazy with the brake pad compound, then they're just going to be touchy. And if they don't dial up the tuning of the pad and the feel through the brake pedal, then they're just going to be annoying on a daily basis. These are not touchy, but when you put your foot down on the brake, it pulls the car down really quickly. So you don't have to worry that you're doing insane speeds. This car is really built for German Autobahns, and so it does those speeds very easily, but we don't have German Autobahns here, and so you're gonna need that brake pedal, and it does a great job in that regard. I am so well pleased with what BMW has done dynamically with this car, and the comforts, the wind noise, the road noise, that's all solid. The question is whether it is worth the price, because this car is not cheap. If you go just regular M8, then you're looking to spend $131,000. If you want the competition package on top of that, that's an extra 13 grand. So $144,000, really $145,000, because you have to have that driver assistance package bundled in there. $145,000 for 617 horsepower and the 0 to 60 performance that this offers and all the luxury equipment doesn't sound like a bad deal to me, but you also have to frame it in with the competitors. So we also have the 2021 Mercedes-AMG GT 63S 4-door coupe. All of those names. That car is going to make 630 horsepower, so an extra 19 more horsepower than this. 13 more horsepower than this. Again, math, not my strong suit. And it's going to cost even more, though. It's going to cost $163,000, which is a chunk of change. I don't have to tell you that. That is going to be $19,000 more than this. I mixed those two numbers up. And you have to ask yourself whether that car is worth that extra money. The 0 to 60 time is about the same, 3 seconds, maybe 3.1 seconds. The top speed is higher, 196 miles an hour, to this is 177 miles an hour, and that's if you get the driver pack, driver pro package, whatever they call it, where you get the raised top speed from 155 to 177, and you also get a day of driver training at a racetrack, which is pretty cool. So that's a nice little bundle there. Mostly people just want to do it for the higher top speed, but 196 miles per hour for that Mercedes-AMG is kind of nuts, but $163,000 is also nuts. Another one to consider is the new Porsche Panamera Turbo S. That's brand new for 2021, and that's going to make 620 horsepower, and that 0 to 60 time is going to be just 2.9 seconds. So even faster than this and the Mercedes-AMG, but the price, we don't know quite yet. We're expecting it's going to be the most expensive of those three cars. So that makes the M8 Gran Coupe competition kind of a bargain amidst those cars. It's actually insane how much of a bargain it is at $144,000 for the performance you're getting, for the luxuries, for the comforts, apart from that ultra firm suspension. This is just very, very good. And you don't need those carbon ceramic brakes, despite how good they are, unless you're gonna be going to a track all the time. Just get the steel rotors. I've driven the regular M8 with those steel setup, and it's good. So BMW M8 Gran Coupe competition, you have really impressed me, and I need to do launch control a few more times, but I may do that off camera. Till then, I'll see you guys next time.